24th November 1971. A normal day in the Portland airport. Everything was normal. The flights were taking off and landing. People were on their way back to their hometown to celebrate Thanksgiving. Yes, it was the eve of Thanksgiving. A man dressed as a businessman bought a ticket to Seattle. He introduced himself as Dan Cooper. The flight was not too long, it was only a 30-minute flight. In those days, there was not much security, so anyone could enter with anything, even illegal arms too. The flight was a Boeing 747. Soon the flight took off and Cooper handed a note which he had written to the flight attendant Florence Kaplan. But Florence ignored the chit and she put it in her handbag. But Cooper insisted her on having a look at it by saying that,
"Miss, you should better look at that note. I have a bomb."
as per Florence, the note instructed her to have a seat beside Cooper. When she did as she was instructed, Cooper opened the briefcase and showed her a wired bomb. Suddenly, Cooper wrote something on a piece of paper and instructed her to take it to the pilots, which she did. He said,
"I want 4 parachutes and $200,000.
quickly after the flight landed in Seattle. The flight had 36 passengers on board and he took the money which he wanted from them. He took the 4 parachutes from the crew which he had taken as hostage. And what he did next was quite unbelievable. Between Seattle and Reno, he jumped from the plane with the 4 parachutes and the money he had taken from the passengers. And by the way, in a newspaper it was by mistake printed that his name was D.B. Cooper. And from then onwards, people started recognizing him by the name of D.B. Cooper. The Federal Bureau of Investigation started a mission called Norjak to find Cooper. They started investigating the case, but they were failed in collecting any proofs. But a few days later, a similar type of hijacking was reported. 7th April 1972. A person apparently calling himself James Johnson, who was also in a black suit, demanded $500,000 and 4 parachutes just like Cooper. Just like Cooper, he too jumped from the aeroplane with the parachute. The FBI thought that they can reach Cooper if they catch this person, and sure enough they did. The second hijacker's real name was Richard Floyd McCoy, who was a retired pilot. But unfortunately, there was no connection between Cooper and McCoy. Then McCoy was sentenced to a 45 years imprisonment. For several years, there were no improvements in this case until 7th February 1980, almost 8 years from the case. Near Columbia River, a father and son duo who were collecting woods saw a bunch of notes which were buried under the soil. For your information, this place was almost 20 miles away from the place where Cooper jumped. The FBI checked the serial numbers of the notes and fortunately it matched with the notes with which Cooper ran away. Unfortunately, there were no improvements in the case even after finding the notes. But again, 35 years later, New York 2007. A detective informed the FBI that
I know a person who knows D.B. Cooper."
When the detective asked the person how he knows D.B. Cooper, so the person replied that they were brothers and he knew him too well. Here comes another suspect of this masterpiece story, Kenneth Christensen. He was a attendant of the flight, but he often had problems with the airlines regarding his salary. Long story short, after 1 year of the Cooper incident, Kenneth bought a house in the South California. He bought this house with cash, which was kinda weird because he did not have that type of money. Also, the way Kenneth smoked and drank matched the way Cooper did. Florence, the flight attendant, too claimed that the face of Kenneth almost matched with the of Cooper. But still, FBI is standing its position by claiming that Kenneth cannot be a prime suspect. Years pass, but still it is an unsolved mystery. People say that if he survived, then he has a very good knowledge of planes and parachutes. But most people still think that he did not survive because of several reasons. First reason is that he chose the safety troops parachute instead of the sports parachutes, and they are really very difficult to control. But even if he survived, he would have straight away landed into the river, which was very cold and could have easily died there. Moreover, he had the weight of the notes which he carried. Now the question comes that how the father and the son duo found the notes. Well, people say that it came there by natural processes. The bag must have been opened and all the notes from the bag must have been carried by the river to the place from where the father and son duo found the notes. Also, when the air hostess was reading the instructions to Cooper, he stopped her and said that he did not need the instructions and he knew about them already. This indicates that he is a master in handling parachutes. After the Loki series released recently, there is a scene in which Loki is dressed as DP Cooper, and now it has been a funny myth that Loki was Cooper. If you want to know more about Cooper's story, then you can watch the film which was released some years ago. The film is always available on HBO. Moreover, if you love the video, which I'm sure you did, you can press the like button. And if you are new to this channel, then please subscribe and click the bell icon. I will meet you again in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself and keep sanitizing.